Samsi. Story time on a little scooter. Okay, what do we got going on? Oh, here we go. Around the world in 80 days. Part 21 for us. And oh yes, that's right, we's at the Needles District. Canyonlands National Park, the Needles District. And we's just gonna scoot around on a little scooter, and we'll stop in at a couple of little places and do a little hiking, take some pictures. I won't take you with me on a hike, but I'll pull you into the parking lot at least. Now, this story, this around the world, when we left this thing off, we had located Passepartout. He, well, you know what happened to him. And he was trying to figure out, he was going to have to figure out something to do on trying to get to America on the steamer to kind of pay for his passage and that kind of thing, because he ain't got no money. And he was going to sign on with this troupe of performers, and we're just going to pick it up there. He's about to meet the main guy, the main Barnum guy. He's not a Barnum, but he's like a Barnum. All right, here we go. Before we get wandering around too much, we'll lose the path again. Passepartout entered and asked for Mr. Batulcar, who straightway appeared in person. "What do you want?" said he to Passepartout, whom he at first took for a native. "Would you like a servant, sir?" asked Passepartout. "A servant!" cried Mr. Batulcar, caressing the thick gray beard which hung from his chin. "I have two who are obedient and faithful, have never left me, and serve me for their nourishment, and here they are," added he, holding out his two robust arms, furrowed with veins as large as the strings of a bass viol. "So I can be of no use to you?" "None." "The devil! I should so like to cross the Pacific with you." "Ah," said the Honorable Mr. Batulcar, "you are no more Japanese than I am a monkey. Who are you dressed up in that way?" "A man dresses as he can." "That's true. You are a Frenchman, aren't you?" "Yes, a Parisian of Paris." "Then you ought to know how to make grimaces." "Why?" replied Passepartout, a little vexed that his nationality should cause this question. "We Frenchmen know how to make grimaces, it is true, but no, not any better than the Americans do." "True. Well, if I can't take you as a servant, I can as a clown. You see, my friend, in France they exhibit foreign clowns, and in foreign parts, French clowns." "Ah, you are pretty strong, eh?" "Especially after a good meal." "And you can sing?" "Yes," returned Passepartout, who had formerly been wont to sing in the streets. "But can you sing standing on your head, with a top spinning on your left foot, and a saber balanced on your right?" "I think so," replied Passepartout, recalling the exercises of his younger days. "Well, that's enough," said the Honorable William Batulcar. The engagement was concluded there and then. Passepartout had at last found something to do. He was engaged to act in the celebrated Japanese troupe. It was not a very dignified position, but within a week he would be on his way to San Francisco. The performance, so noisily announced by the Honorable Mr. Batulcar, was to commence at 3 o'clock, and soon The deafening instruments of a Japanese orchestra resounded at the door. Passepartout, though he had not been able to study or rehearse a part, was designated to lend the aid of his sturdy shoulders in the great exhibition of the human pyramid, executed by the long noses of the god Tengu. Do I have to do the disclaimer? I guess I'll do the disclaimer. We're at this little trailhead thingy, and I'm going to go for a little hike and take a few pictures and stuff, and boom, I'm back. Ha, ha, ha. All right, yeah. None of this stuff is pronounced right, and that's on you guys now. You gotta go look it up. This great attraction was to close their performance. The human pyramid. Okay. Before 3 o'clock, the large shed was invaded by the spectators, compromising Europeans and natives, Chinese and Japanese, men, women, and children, who precipitated themselves upon the narrow benches and into the boxes opposite the stage. The musicians took up a position inside and were vigorously performing on their gongs, tam-tams, flutes, bones, tambourines, and immense drums. The performance was much like all acrobatic displays, but it must be confessed that the Japanese are the first equilibrists in the world. One, with a fan and some bits of paper, performed a graceful trick of the butterflies and the flowers. Another traced in the air with the arduous smoke of his pipe a series of blue words, which composed a compliment to the audience, while a third juggled with some lighted candles, which he extinguished successfully as they passed his lips, and relit again without interrupting for an instant his juggling. Another reproduced the most singular combinations with a spinning top. His hands were revolving tops, seemed to be animated with a life of their own, and terrible, interminable whirling. They ran over pipe stems, the edges of sabers, wires, and even hairs stretched across the stage. They turned around on the edges of large glasses, crossed bamboo ladders, dispensed into all the corners, and produced strange musical effects by the combination of their various pitches of tone. The jugglers tossed them in the air, threw them like shuttlecocks with wooden battledores, and yet they kept on spinning. They put them into their pockets and took them out, still whirling as before. It is useless to describe the astonishing performances of the acrobats and gymnasts. The turning on ladders, poles, balls, barrels, etc., was executed with wonderful precision. But the principal attraction was the exhibition of the long noses, a show to which Europe is yet a stranger. The long noses form a peculiar company, under the direct patronage of the god Tengu. Tengu, eh? All right. Oh boy, I lost my spot. I took my eyes away for a second, and yet there it is. Okay. Tengu. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The show was no. Oh, I lost my. Oh, there it is. Attired after the fashion of the Middle Ages, they bore upon their shoulders a splendid pair of wings. But what especially distinguished them was the long noses, which were fastened to their faces, and the uses which they made of them. These noses were made of bamboo, and were 5, 6, and even 10 feet long, some straight, others curved, some ribboned and some having imitation warts on them, it was upon these appendages, fixed tightly on their real noses, that they performed their gymnastic exercises. A dozen of these sectaries of Tingu lay flat upon their backs, while others, dressed to represent lightning rods, came and frolicked on their noses, jumping from one to another, and performing the most skillful leapings and somersaults. As a last scene, a human pyramid had been announced, in which 50 long noses were to represent the car of Juggernaut. Car of Juggernaut. Oh, okay, we're going to get us a little asterisk here. The car of Juggernaut is an enormous wooden machine adorned by figures and mounted on wheels. Many men drag it annually to the temple. Oh, there you go, folks. The car of Juggernaut for the god Tingu. Tingu. But instead of forming a pyramid by mounting each other's shoulders, the artists were, okay, we're just gonna pull in that little Dora here. Does that mean it's over? Oh, come on, don't say it. Now, I think I'm just pulling in here to probably use the facilities. What else would you have an RV for? So you don't have to go to the stinky one. Okay, oh yeah, okay, I'm just gonna roll over here, do a little garbage thing. Now this, okay, I guess we're putting a pause on this story for a second. This little area here is really nice. It's the rest of the campground, one of the end of the loop, I guess, and some of them are, boy oh boy, I guess they're all really, really nice. And they're a little tighter over there, but they're definitely a little busier too. This side over here, kind of where I was at with Dora there, they kind of, there was a lot of space in between them. This little area where I'm going up, the little keyhole area there up there, they on top of each other. Okay, the artists were grouped themselves on top of the noses. It happened that the performer who had hitherto, boy, I'm getting good at that one, formed the base of the car, had quit the troupe. And as to fill this part, only strength and adroitness were necessary. Passepartout had been chosen to take his place. The poor fellow really felt sad when, melancholy reminiscence of his youth, he donned his costume, adorned with multicolored wings, and fastened to his natural feature a false nose 6 feet long. But he cheered up when he thought that this nose was winning him something to eat. He went upon the stage and took his place beside the rest who were to compose the base of the car of Juggernaut. They all stretched themselves on the floor, their noses pointed to the ceiling. A second group of artists deposed themselves on these long appendages, when a third above these, then a fourth, until a human monument, reaching to the very cornices of the altar, of the theater, arose on top of the noses. This elicited loud applause, in the midst of which the orchestra was just striking up a deafening air. When the pyramid tottered, the balance was lost. One of the lower noses vanished from the pyramid, and the human monument shattered like a castle built of cards. It was Passepartout's fault. Abandoning his position, clearing the footlights without the aid of his wings, and clambering up to the right-hand gallery, he fell at the feet of one of the spectators, crying, "Ah, my master, my master!" "You here?" "Myself." "Very well. Then let us go to the steamer, young man. Mr. Fogg, Aouda, and Passepartout passed through the lobby of the theater to the outside, where they encountered the Honorable Mr. Betulcar. Furious with rage, he demanded damages for the breakage of the pyramid. And Phileas Fogg, no. Phileas Fogg. See, now these are these nice little spots in here. Isn't that beautiful, though? Boy, I tell you, you could spend a lot of time taking pictures. They just all look the same. Phileas Fogg appeased him by giving him a handful of banknotes. At 6:30, the very hour of departure, Mr. Fogg and Aouda, followed by Passepartout, who in his hurry had retained his wings and nose 6 feet long, stepped upon the American steamer. Oh, we got through that chapter. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. All right, let's take a look. I know this sucker's going to wrap up. Yeah, that's another thing about this end of the campground here is there's a few different trailhead and parking areas, so you're always going to have people looping around and stuff like that. So yeah, okay, I'm just heading back and we're almost done here. All right, so that was the end of the chapter. Chapter 24 is where we're going now, during which Mr. Fogg and party crossed the Pacific. Oh, wow. What happened when the pilot boat came in sight of the Shanghai will be easily guessed. The signals made by the Tankadier had been seen by the captain of the Yokohama steamer, who, espying the flag at half-mast, had directed his course toward the little craft. Phileas Fogg, after paying the stipulated price of his passage to John Busby, and rewarding that worthy with the additional sum of £550, ascended the steamer with Aouda and Fix, and they started at once for Nagasaki, and Yokohama. Okay, guys, let's knock it off right there. I'll put a mark on it because wow, oh wow. All right, we got through it. Thank you so much for coming along, and I think we're probably going to stay over here at Needles for a while. So we'll see you next time. Let's do this here thing now. Some see. Oh, and if you can't see the wooden shoe arch, it's just over there on the right. Now, and I stopped at that place. How you doing, Big Rosie? I stopped there and I'm looking around and I'm like, I can't see that must be it over there. That must be it over there. And I couldn't find it. And then one of the times when I was riding by, I'm like, oh, shoot, there it is right there. So I inadvertently got it in the picture anyway. All right, Big Rosie. Ah, yeah, you do it. You tell me all about it. Okay, guys. Cheers.